only person in the world, I think, who loves Top Gun and yet
No.
has almost zero affection for Maverick. And with that, we'll get into some 2001 questions.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is the first time I'm doing one of these mailbags with my two guests live with me. So this will be a whole new dynamic, and I can't wait. Adam, Britt, you're back again.
We are.
Feel free to say hi if you want.
Hello.
Or don't.
Oh, hey, what's up? Or fuck off. Yeah, that too. You know.
Yeah, that's fine too. It's our favorite word. So
we got to set the tone right for how we were the other night.
I hope you're ready for us to just come after you. Apparently, Andrew, we're just gonna dogpile me and Adam. We're in it together, I guess.
I'm fully prepared. We got a bunch of questions. We're going to try our best to get through all of them. I can't guarantee we'll get to everything. We've got a lot of them. We're going to start off with a couple of questions from a good buddy of ours, Mike, over at Cinemusts, who literally just sent these over within the last hour or two. So you have not seen these.
We love Mike.
Mike's the best. I know he literally just recorded with Adam last night, kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit, and he had some pointed remarks about who we maybe left off of a 2001 revised nomination. So we'll start off with that one. And that would be the movie that Mike and Adam were talking about, which is The Mexican.
Oh my God.
And Mike says, why no James Gandolfini nomination? Que paso? Adam, why don't you field this one first?
So I had never ever seen The Mexican. It did not come up in my prep for your show, but it is something that I am talking about on the kind of revamped season of Rewind. And The Mexican as a film, I don't think works. There are many things that are wrong with it. The only thing that's really right with it is James Gandolfini, who actually gives quite a nuanced and really emotional performance. Now, as far as leaving off the table, I told Mike off mic last night that I just hadn't seen it prior to us doing the episode. So that's that. As far as what would have been in my 5, I don't know if it would have made it. But we did the whole thing where we look at what was nominated, and there are 2 performances who are actually nominated that if James Gandolfini had slipped in, I would have been totally fine with that.
And those 2 would be?
That would be Jon Voight and Jim Broadbent.
I can't disagree with that. I think that the problem with The Mexican is that it's just bad. It's just a bad movie. And unfortunately, that takes away from his wonderful performance in it. Like, he does a great job, but I think the content of the film itself pulls down his performance, which made it so that I would never have considered it for a nomination, unfortunately. But wouldn't have been upset if somebody else had brought it to the table, because James Gandolfini forever.
I did not watch The Mexican for it. I don't think it's a very good movie, and I'm not here to dogpile on Mike any harder because the 1001 crew does more than enough of that for all of us.
Excuse me. I take
if you know, you know. If you know. All right, another question from Mike. He said, this is another revision request since one guest on the episode is one of the most passionate advocates for animated movies that I know, and the other guest is Britt. A hearty har har.
I was going to say, how dare you, Mike?
Mike was in a feisty mode this morning.
Put my arm up.
So Mike's question is, this year saw the first Oscar for Best Animated Film. What movie would you have given the award to? So let's pretend we're revising Best Animated Feature. It went to Shrek in 2001. Britt, what movie do you think was the best animated film of that year?
Oh, I mean, 100%. We all know it's Spirited Away for me, but Spirited Away did already win. I mean, I would then give it to Millennium Actress personally. If I kept Spirited Away, having it in 2003 or whenever they got it, I'd give it to Millennium Actress. I think that movie, Satoshi Kon was a genius. It's incredible. I love it. Do I think it would have won against Shrek? No, I think Shrek was like such a monumental film when it came out. It has staying power. People still talk about it all the time. So do you think it would have won over it? No, but I'm going to give it to Millennium Actress for sure. 100%.
Are you a Shrek fan?
No.
Okay.
I am not. I was when I was younger, but I rewatched it recently and I was like, this needs to be redone. We need a remastered version of it because the grass looks terrible. It is just, I apologize to anybody who likes it. It's really ugly to look at now.
It divides people more than I ever thought. Like it's a movie that I don't think about very often, but yeah. Adam, what about you? What movie would you have said is the best animated film?
I mean, between I'm just going to go with what the Academy had put in there as far as nominations go, because I can't really recall too many other animated films from 2001. But between the two juggernauts, like in the revised sense, I probably would give it to Monsters Inc. Between over Shrek. I think Shrek is good, and I like the adult jokes. I still think the Duloc song is like pretty funny.
It's great.
I really, really like Billy Crystal working off of John Goodman in Monsters Inc. Like I really can't, I can't beat that.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, if you listen to the episode 2001, I have Monsters Inc. in my 5. I stand by that. I think it's one of the 5 best movies of that year. It's my pick because I'm segmenting out Spirited Away. I think that movie is sort of disqualified for me. I don't have a problem with it being in there because it's like a tweener, but I think Monsters Inc.'s the best movie.
Tweener. It's
a tweener. It's right between the two. All right, final question from Mike. This one might cause some controversy. We'll find out. So he said the common discourse around Lord of the Rings is that Return of the King won big as a celebration of the whole trilogy, not necessarily that film. Assuming you could only give Best Picture to one of the Lord of the Rings films, which one would you choose and why? Britt, do you have a preference?
Yeah, I mean, I think Fellowship of the Ring is the best of the 3. I think it's the most concise. I think it's the best adapted from the source material, which is extremely dense and has so much in it that it seems impossible to adapt it. I think the Fellowship of the Ring is a pretty perfect film. I love it. And it's the one I watch Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers the most because the Two Towers is my favorite book of the series. I barely watch Return of the King because it kind of loses steam. My husband and I talked about this the other day. The final fight, there's no way that it could win. It's better than the fight in the second movie. There's no way. That battle is beyond. It's perfect. No notes. So yeah, I guess I'd give it to Fellowship of the Ring, but Two Towers is pretty good too.
All right, well, we don't have your compatriot Joey here to really slander Lord of the Rings, but Adam's probably not too far away.
I was going to say, like, can none of them win? That would be mine.
How dare you?
I just don't.
How dare you?
Is it a fantasy thing? Do you just not like the genre?
I'm a tweener, real tweener energy here on that. I think it's got to be right. I think it's just got to be right. Let's just leave it there because I don't have enough lore. I never read the books. I don't have that relationship to it. So I'm not gonna say Tolkien's a bitch because I don't know that I don't believe
Tolkien was
that.
actually a really nice man.
I don't believe that. I don't know Tolkien. I never met him personally, but I don't know. He's dead, the films are really take it or leave it. He's dead. I can't. It's not going to happen now.
Unless you get a Ouija board, maybe you can contact him.
You've seen all 3 movies. Do you have which one do you prefer? If you're forced to watch one of the 3, which one are you turning on?
I probably would say the second one. I agree with Britt on the losing of the steam in Return of the King. And then there's just so much, and I get it, but there's so much meeting of the characters and exposition loading in Fellowship that Two Towers is just, it's in media res. You just kind of hop in and if you know, they're on the journey and shit's happening and there's the less not being talked down to, but you don't have to sit through all of the exposition and here's who knows who for what reason. So yeah, I would say Two Towers.
I'm not going to tip my hand to 2003. I'll be talking about that in the space of about 3 months now when I revise 2003. But I stand by Fellowship of the Ring as the best movie of 2001, and we will find out where the audience stands on that one here relatively soon. And I'll leave it at that. Okay, next question comes from Betsy over at Never Seen It. I'm going to go to Adam first on this one because I know this is a movie you both love, but I know Adam has an exceptional amount of love for this movie. And that would be The Royal Tenenbaums, which Betsy said shamefully only got nominated for 1 Academy Award in 2001. Gene Hackman, she said, is a massive oversight. But what else would you nominate the movie for in 2001? We all nominated Gwyneth Paltrow. Adam, you also nominated Ben Stiller in supporting actor. Do you feel like you could have maybe nominated it for more stuff? Do you think it deserved more stuff below the lines? Where do you stand on how Royal Tenenbaums was sort of slighted that year?
So I think outside of Gene Hackman, I think Gwyneth Paltrow is a good one. And, I was thinking about this, particularly because Amelie came up on our 25 for 25 that we're doing. And Amelie and Royal Tenenbaums occupy kind of a similar space, kind of these quirky comedies with really interesting characters. And I think maybe in it, because Amelie got a bunch of I think it got cinematography and maybe even production design. And Wes Anderson would get recognized, on Grand Budapest, which is a much larger film. But even in Royal Tenenbaums, there's a lot of unique characteristics. So I'm not saying like production design was in the mix per se. It is a smaller film. But I think if Amelie hadn't come out that year or hadn't been such a hit with the Academy, I could have seen maybe like a production design or a cinematography, because it has such a look to it. I just think Jean-Pierre Junet's French Quirk Fest just happened to be the one that they went with that year.
French Quirk Fest? Really?
Quirk, I don't know. Listen, I'm just making shit up as we go. I'm trademark.
That might be the best. That's the way to describe that movie right there for sure. So Britt, do you think Royal Tenenbaums deserved more love than it got? I assume.
I think it's Wes Anderson's best film. Personally, I really, really love it. I think it's fantastic. And I would have been happy for it to get any number of nominations. I could have seen it get cinematography. I obviously said best director, or not best director, but best supporting actress. I completely agree with the Ben Stiller for best supporting actor. I think that production design would have been a really great nod. I could have seen director. I honestly could have seen it sneak into best picture. I love that film. I think it's his best work. And even if it's a small film, it should be lauded the same way that something that had a far larger budget does. So absolutely, like, boo on the Academy.
Even though Adam likes to pretend I somehow don't like or respect the Royal Tenenbaums, because it's my third favorite Wes Anderson, heaven forbid.
I don't have to pretend. I mean, you made a whole list about it. It's
true.
So at this point, for people who don't know, go check out 1001 by One, because you guys are counting down the 25 best movies of the century, which is a compilation of lists between the three of you.
Yeah.
The two of you don't know the full list yet, correct?
Not at all. It's really nice. So it's the chillest going into every episode.
How high do you think Tenenbaums could go? Do you have any like guesses?
I don't. That's the thing is Joey also is not revealing what 5 didn't make the cut. So I don't know. I would say I could see it being in like that 15 to 11 range.
I agree.
Maybe.
Yeah. I agree. It could come in at 20. I don't think there's any way it's going to make it into the top 10. But if it does, I would be excited about it. I also could see that somehow being in the 5 that didn't make it. I really don't have any idea. I mean, last time we did it, it was the films that we did have were kind of wild to me and made me so happy. I didn't anticipate any of them being in those positions, or even on the list at all. So it really could go any way.
He did tease there's one movie in the 5 that just missed that's going to probably be shocking to people.
Sorry. Fucking fuck.
Oh. Yes, he did. He did say that.
Do you think it's Tenenbaums, or is there like another one that you're sort of wondering?
No, I truly don't know what it is. My concern is that it's going to be like Parasite or something. And like be like, what happened?
There's no way.
I don't think so either. I don't, but like, I don't know. The way that Joey is talking about it, I'm concerned it's going to be like something so obvious but I don't know.
Zone of Interest crossed my mind because I know at least someone.
I don't think there's any way that Zone of Interest is that low.
I would agree too. I don't know. I like to say that I'm scared about what it is sounds really, really dumb, but I don't really know.
It's very exciting that he's waiting to reveal it until the final 5, I think, right?
I think it's going to make me very sad, whatever it is.
Well, follow along with the journey that you all are on, because it's a lot of fun. I'm eager to see what comes up next. First 5 were really good. Okay, question for Britt. This is right up your alley. This is from our buddy Hannah over at Horror Hour with the Hannahs. She asked, how does Mulholland Drive fall on your overall David Lynch rankings?
The number one, like there's no contest. Mulholland Drive is his absolute best film, his magnum opus. It's incredible. I will always, it's my like favorite movie in the entire world. So that will always be my number one.
What about you, Adam? Is it number one for you? I can't remember where your Lynch ranking was.
Yeah, me, Britt, and Joey were unanimous on Mulholland Drive. And as much as I would say, like, I think half of his films, I don't know if I would use the masterpiece, but half of his films are just like superb. But it does, even saying that, it feels like there's a pretty big distance between 1 and 2, you know, like it's just like, it's his style, but he's saying so much, and yet you still have to do so much work as an audience member, which is the kind of movie I like. I don't want everything spoon-fed to me. I'll drop the masterpiece word there. I think it's a masterpiece.
For context, what's number 2 for you both currently?
Lost Highway.
So when I did it, I think I did Straight Story, but I rewatched Lost Highway after David Lynch passed away, and I'm pretty sure it's Lost Highway now. I think now we have a collective number 2 for Lost Highway.
Lost Highway is such a killer flick. It is so good. It is just a vibe, and we all know that. We love vibes, so.
That's really high. I wish I could get fully on the Lost Highway wavelength.
Get on it, Andrew.
Wish.
What's wrong with you?
I'm taking a detour off the highway a little bit.
Apparently, under tractor.
On my tractor. Up until we did prep for this episode, Eraserhead was pretty firmly my number 1 Lynch. I just think it's such a unique way to come out of the gate.
It's great.
I mean, like, for that to be your entrance into the world of movies is wild. But Mulholland took the top spot after we went back through this project, and I feel like it's pretty firmly up there now, ahead of Eraserhead. So that's where I'm at on it.
I mean, it's beautiful, and also it has Billy Ray Cyrus.
I always forget he's in it up until he shows up, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Why is he here?
Such a cool choice.
All right. I think we're all pretty big fans of rom-coms here. Wink. I don't know if any of us really are, but we got another question from Hannah over at Horror Hour, and she asked what the best rom-com of 2001 was. She said you can be loose with the definition. I'll jump in first and say, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Bridget Jones' Diary is shockingly my favorite rom-com of that year. And I'm so excited I get to join Rewind 2552 to talk about Bridget Jones. Me and Adam are going to be the Bridget Jones boys for that one. So that's my pick. If you want to, feel free to jump in if you have a rom-com from this year that you liked.
I love you, Hannah. I'm not a big rom-com person. Big surprise. Can I say Mulholland Drive? Is that a rom-com? There's some pretty funny moments. But if I can't say Mulholland Drive, I'm going to go with Amelie. Obviously, my other favorite movie from 2001.
I don't know. Oof, boy. I don't really know. It's not quite a rom-com, but I just want to throw a little love to Heartbreakers, which is
Sigourney Weaver.
Just a silly, yeah. Nobody
Jennifer Love
really.
Hewitt?
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt ends up with
Doesn't the guy from Stand By Me
right?
who got thin?
Jerry O'Connell?
Yeah, isn't he in it?
I thought it was the guy from My Name is Earl.
Oh, yes, it is. Jason Lee. That's who it is. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one because it's
Ray Liotta too, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Kind of a wild
And
cast.
Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman is like an aging, smoking, like rich, just gross man.
Wow, he was great at those roles.
I was looking into 2001. There weren't a ton of really good rom-coms that year. I think there was a Matthew McConaughey. This was like peak McConaughey doing the rom-com.
Yeah, he did a lot of those.
Failure to Launch maybe was this year. I can't remember which one, but
God.
Not a good year.
God.
Okay, this is an Adam question for sure because I know your favorite category at the Oscars almost always is screenplay. So, what do you think finished in second place in both the screenplay categories in 2001? If you look at all the nominees, who would you slot in as the second place?
As in, like, second place of what I think the Academy voters did. Okay. That's it's so tricky because with the Robert Altman Julian Fellows Gosford Park, there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of tradition there. Everything else is like kind of new and odd in the best way, right? Because Memento, basically not a first time director, but pretty much, right? Amelie's not. Amelie was original, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's in there. Monsters Ball and then Royal Tenenbaums. I mean, I think with the editing nom and then Christopher Nolan getting the DGA, I would say Memento probably. If you just look at the precursors and what was getting noms. So I would just.
Are you kidding me?
What? What?
What is happening?
Did we forget what Trinity means? Does it mean 2? Is that 2?
What are you doing here?
2, or does that mean 3? Does that mean 3?
What is?
I just, I find out I'm being excluded again. So I came to see what was going on.
For anyone,
So what's up, guys?
for anyone listening right
What's up,
now,
guys?
we've had an invasion.
Oh my God, this is incredible. No.
When your feelings get hurt out of nowhere, you figure it out.
I swear I had no
I'm
hand
a
in this.
stalker.
No, once Andrew kicked me off 1998, he never sent me a link again. So no, he threw me out to the curb when he made new friends. So no, I found out. So what's up, Trinity of 2?
Holy Ghost, we're doing great over here, me and the Father.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy with movie opinions.
I'm sort of I'm reshuffling my notes right now, but let's get to a question from one Joseph Rogate, who said,
I asked a question too. That's so nice of me.
Do you
And I'm not included.
do we feel good about abandoning Joey from the 2001 episode? I'll let his partners answer that.
It haunts me, Joey. It haunts me to this day, but not as much as the idea of deciphering Lord of the Rings with you, which I don't know if my heart could take. So I am so sorry.
So my honest answer is that I thought that Joey would be able to take it. I thought that he would be okay, but things could have changed. But also, I feel like between this and if Joey not receiving certain mail.
Oh my
God,
like that's so true.
Joey has really been kicked to the curb multiple times.
Yes.
So
the male one hurts. The male one hurts. This is mostly in jest, but the male one hurts my feelings.
I have a serious answer and a fake answer for why Joey was not a part of 2001, and I'll let you to decide. But I couldn't take any more Gollum slander from Joey, and I was like,
Fair.
What's that? What's a Gollum?
Exactly. That's why. Joey, right there. That's what haunts me. That's why.
It's a Gollum.
I knew we were gonna have enough of it from Adam. I couldn't take two Lord of the Rings haters. Okay, well,
Yep.
Since Joey's here, let me go to a question for Joey, just for the hell of it. This feels like a good question for you, Joey. I know you have no preparation for this.
No.
He'll be fine.
Okay. You probably don't even know what movies came out in 2001 off the top of your head, but we'll see where you go with this. So, of all the movies in 2001, which one would benefit most from a character where one is human and everyone else is a Muppet?
Oh, man. That's amazing. What came out in 2001? Damn it. I wish I thought about this a little bit, but
we can give you a couple options.
Yeah, just give me heads up because I'm looking at. Hold on.
A Beautiful Mind, Lord of the Rings,
Memento.
Amelie, Mulholland Drive, In the Bedroom.
I like. Let's do Gosford Park.
Yes.
Gosford Park, and just to make this the worst thing ever, the only human actor is Ryan Phillippe, and then everybody else is a Muppet.
See, and I was gonna go with I was gonna go with Wes Anderson's best film, The Royal Tenenbaums. Everybody's a Muppet except for Gene Hackman.
That's funny.
I thought the obvious answer was Blow, where everyone is a Muppet except for Johnny Depp, and the cocaine's driven him to see Muppets.
I think that's fair, though. I think I would just have Ray Liotta in there and everybody else Muppets, because Ray Liotta's so great in that movie. You got one, Joey?
I'm looking. I'm thinking. Yeah, I got it.
While Joey debates,
the piano teacher.
Where's the human?
The student. And Miss Piggy is the teacher.
Obviously.
So
Oh,
much worse.
Uh,
All right, well, I'll let you guys go back to talking about delivering jewelry across the counties for some fucking reason, with your golems and your Whistledorfs or whatever stupid shit. All right.
thank you for that wonderful surprise, Joseph.
Always fun. See you guys soon.
see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Well, that
Oh,
was
Joey.
that was fun.
That was
That was good.
hilarious.
I promise I had no hand in that.
Oh no, that does not surprise
I
me.
have a feeling I
that-
know who gave him a link, but
Good for them. That was great.
all right, let's just keep.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. Who knows? All right.
It was. Oh, no, it really wasn't.
I don't think it was anybody on this panel.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Matt Hanna.
We're Horror Hour with the Hannahs, a married couple who love digging into the guts of horror movies.
Literally and figuratively.
Whether it's new releases or cult classics, on our podcast we break down the scares, themes, and hidden messages with just the right amount of love and humor, with some occasional bickering.
So grab your popcorn and your emotional support blanket and join us Wednesdays.
For a spooky good time with Horror Hour with the Hannahs.
Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe today, if you dare.
Okay, I'm going to bounce around to a question from a friend, Scott Eisenberg over at Shoot the Flick. This one's right up Britt's alley. I don't even think I sent you this question. So Scott's question is, so Ichi the Killer, what is your opinion on this bonkers movie? This is
I gave it a nomination. It's perfect. I love Ichi the Killer. Here's the thing. Takashi Miike is an incredible director, and Ichi the Killer is an extremely upsetting watch, but it's so brutal and so fun and so out there and bonkers wild that if you give yourself the opportunity to embrace it and accept what's happening in front of you, I think you'll have a really good time with it. Also, it has the best tongue cutting scene I've ever seen. So watch it. It's great. It's perfect. And Kakihara is incredible. And do I have a crush on him? Maybe. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Mostly, he's got a cool jacket, man. He's got cool clothes, a cool jacket, cool hair. He looks cool when he smokes, unfortunately. Smokes and it comes out his
sides.
cheeks.
Is this your favorite
Yeah.
Miike film?
No, my favorite Miike film is 13 Assassins. It's really good. Well, okay.
Audition?
No, that's not true. Audition is my favorite Miike, but then I think his best film is 13 Assassins, genuinely. And I'm not sure, Andrew, if you saw this, but Ghost of Yotai, like the new Ghost of Tsushima sequel, they're going to have a Takashi Miike mode.
What?
Yeah, like they had a Kurosawa
Yeah.
mode in the first one. This one's going to be a Miike mode.
What are they going to do to make it Miike infused?
So it's going to like go in and be like sweeping around. It's going to be
Oh.
incredible. I cannot wait. My husband told me, he said, you need to watch this. You're going to lose it. And I squealed as loudly as when Adam said what he did on Solo, and he knows what he did. I woke up the neighbors again when I found that out. Anyways, we can cut that. But I love Takashi Miike.
Adam, what about you? You a fan of Ichi the Killer? You a fan of Miike's work?
I've not seen Itchy the Killer.
Oh.
I've seen Audition. I said it should be in the book. And I really
Yeah,
like
you did.
13 Assassins. I wasn't sure. I just didn't know what it was really gonna be. That's fucking what it advertises, and it does it really well. So I'm in.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of that movie. I think I'd put Audition number 1 for me, but it's definitely pretty good. And it's got a better tongue cutting scene than Salo for sure.
Yeah, the tongue looks way better.
Yeah, it looks actually like a tongue.
Yeah, it does. It's great. And there's a purpose behind it other than just to, torture someone.
All right, I got another question from Joey. We'll just keep Joey at the forefront right now. He said,
We love you, Joey.
does A Knight's Tale have the second best David Bowie song leading to a dance in movie history? Now, I'm assuming he's talking about After Sun, which is the movie that Joey and I will talk about forever.
I mean, yeah.
We didn't talk about A Knight's Tale at all on the episode. Are you a fan?
Damn shame. Huge
Yeah.
fan. Gigantic fan.
Can you-
I love
Can you
it.
think of another movie with a better Bowie needle drop?
Well, okay, I don't think it counts because it's genuinely a musical, so I don't think this counts. But like Dance Magic Dance and Labyrinth is just the most important dance sequence of my life. So I mean, I can't get away from that. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely got to be A Knight's Tale.
Adam, what about you? Any David Bowie deep cuts?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing against the man. Nothing at all. But I don't say I have any deep cuts. So let's just go with. I'd actually say Knight's Tale is number one because, as Joey knows, I am not a fan of Aftersun.
Oh, I didn't.
I don't know if
that.
we've unpacked this before.
Yeah. So the short version is, I mean, I watched it. And I went in with a open heart, open mind, and because I'm a father of daughters, I was expecting to be like destroyed by that movie, and it got to the end, and I think I literally went, and that was the end of my journey with Aftersun. So I need to watch it again. I could see Joey picking it in the next draft just to like make me have to watch it again. But it's not high on my rewatch list.
What a shame. Yeah. If there was a way to like mute you from my spot here, I would, but I don't know if I can do that. All right, let's get to another question.
Sounds good.
I can just go. I can go if that's
No, we need you here. It's fun. It's fun.
There's going to be more Oscar questions that I'm not going to be able to answer. You know that.
All right. Well, here we go, Britt. Here's an Oscar question for you. Was Gosford Park closer to winning Best Picture than Fellowship of the Ring, if you had to guess?
Yes, I actually do think that was closer. I am a Gosford Park stan. I rewatched it way earlier in the year because I assumed I wasn't going to like it. I saw it when I was first 11, and I was very, very impacted by that movie. And I also think that it's the type of film that the Oscars might say like, oh yes, we love this. It's very, it has to do with English aristocracy, but also somehow seeing what's happening in the kitchens. They like that kind of shit. So yeah, I do think so. I also think that the Oscars kind of wanted Lord of the Rings to prove that each of the films were the same caliber before rewarding something that was very obviously a trilogy and very obviously supposed to be one thing together. You don't watch one and then not continue and watch the others. Like they all are a continuation. So I think so personally, but I mean, I don't really know a lot about the Oscars, so I could be totally off base on this one. What
about you, Adam? If you had to put yourself in the mind of a voter that time, what's probably closer to winning?
I think Gosford Park. I do. I think it picked up. Honestly, I think it picked up key precursors. Moulin Rouge was pretty much like snubbed at like SAG, and Lord of the Rings was obviously more of a below the line kind of technical feat. And in the bedroom, and I mean, again, I think we all had pretty universal praise for that movie, but it just feels so small comparatively that I think Gosford Park makes sense, and it's the Academy having a little bit of fun. Like it's not Mrs. Brown, it's not Tom and Viv, it's not Restoration, it's not like it's not a Merchant Ivory film, and I have necessarily nothing against those, but it's not completely stuffy. Like it is darkly funny, but also has some thematic stuff in there too. So I would say probably, and they like when Robert Altman hits, the Academy really likes it.
Yeah, I can't argue too much with that. I would say it felt to me like Fellowship was probably closer, but who knows? Who knows where the Academy stood. Speaking about In the Bedroom, speaking about Todd Field, got a question from Heather Stewart who said, what does the man have to do to get properly recognized? This isn't a real question, just more of a moan. I think we all agree that Todd Field is a wonderful filmmaker with great movies. Yeah. I don't think he's ever going to win at the rate he's at. It just doesn't feel like his movies like check all the boxes for an Academy Award, like a true Best Picture winner.
Has he gotten a like honorary Oscar yet?
No.
I think he might at some point get that. I think his films are a little too quiet most of the time. And they deal with subject matter that people don't want to talk about all the time. And we have plenty of other films that are honored that talk about subject matter that we don't want to talk about, but they're done in a far more I don't want to say obnoxious way, but an in-your-face way. Like if you look at Halle Berry winning for Monsters Ball, that's also extremely upsetting subject matter, but everything is very heightened to the point where it's almost too far in that film, I would say. I'm not a fan of that film, but also I think that Todd Field doesn't necessarily push it out of this realistic area, and I think that's too much for some people. Like watching In the Bedroom ruined my entire day. In the best possible way. That's why I watch movies, damn it, make me uncomfortable. But I also think that that's harder to give accolades to because it makes you feel bad, you know, whereas maybe people can separate themselves from other performances more.
Well, and I think I would kind of playfully push back. He's made 3 films, and all of his films have garnered multiple Academy Award nominations. He directs actors to nominated performances.
Yeah.
2 of his films were up for Best Picture. Yes, I mean, I would love another 2 or 3 Todd Field movies that don't exist at the moment, but not too many people make 3 films and have all 3 of those films be so roundly, at least critically lauded.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I would love to see what Todd Field's Best Picture winning film looks like, but I also just am a big fan of the 3 that we got. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
I had to double check that he got a director nom for Tar. I was pretty sure he did, and he did. He and another director we talked about quite a bit on the 2001 episode, Jonathan Glazer, feel like they're at least in a similar vein in terms of not a ton of output. When they make movies, they tend to do pretty well. They've both, it felt like with each movie, they gradually get a little bit closer to achieving something in terms of like critical award success. Zone of Interest was probably the closest Glazer's gotten. Tar was Field's closest. So I would anticipate Todd Field's probably closer than not to getting recognized for real at some point. At the very least, it feels like he's going to have a true lead actor or lead actress win under his belt pretty soon. Because still blows me away that Cate Blanchett didn't win for Tar. I can't even remember who won that year, but that was hers.
That was Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. I love Everything Everywhere.
Which is and I'm not a fan of Tar, so I've got a lot of issues with I have a lot of personal issues with Tar and some of the representation in it. So that's my least favorite of Todd Field's movies. I understand like people can like it. That's great. That's fine. But I think it's kind of problematic. Still think it's a great film, but there were just a lot of issues around it that I personally was fine with that not winning.
Well, from one problematic lead actress performance to another, let's talk about Halle Berry. Another question from Heather Stewart. She said, is Halle Berry's win a good legacy win, being the first woman of color to take Best Actress? As in, is this the kind of role that deserves such a historic win? Not necessarily talking about Halle Berry as a performer, more the actual characterization and the role of a Black woman on screen. Britt, I know we've kind of talked about this like on the side.
I'm not sure I'm really the right person to even answer that question. You know, I'm a white woman. I think it's amazing to get representation anywhere, and I also think that problematic characters should be allowed. Problematic characters in really difficult situations should be allowed. I'm not a fan of Monsters Ball personally, but I also, I just don't know if I can really answer that question. I'm not sure I'm the right person to.
Adam, you want to take a stab at it? Yes, yeah. Straight white man. Yeah, let me give you my thoughts. I think at least collectively, when you look at the nominees, and that, you know, my makeshift way of adjudicating performances that I used for 2001, I do think that the novelty of that performance against the rest of Halle Berry's career, particularly up until that point, I do think probably went a long way for people for the voting purposes. I really don't know. I mean, if you were an Oscar voter at the time, I don't really know where your vote is going, you know, if it doesn't go that way. So I don't, I think it's kind of as far as like memorability is in the complete history of the Oscars, I think it's very mid. I don't think like anybody would look back and go, how dare they make that choice? But it's also not like whatever. I don't even know. Like whatever somebody believes is like the best actress win, it's not that either. So it's not like offensive, but it's also not like, tremendous.
I do think that there's also a larger conversation to have, which we would not be able to get in now, but just the fact that there is such a small percentage of people who are not white that get nominated. Like, that's an issue. That's a problem within the Academy, because there are many, 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 many films by people who are not white, starring people who are not white, that are incredible and have just banger performances that deserve nominations and deserve to be lauded the same way. And I think that this is a systemic issue within the industry itself that needs to change. And I think, things probably are changing some, but not fast enough, right? Like, we need better representation no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pretend, like Britt said, I can't pretend to put myself in the shoes of the experience of a Black person in America. And so I don't want to put my projection onto that. However, the next episode I do in 1991, there will be a very prominent film starring almost exclusively Black characters that I think represents culture in a much stronger light than Monsters Ball. And I anticipate that I and my two guests will have much more praise to throw that movie's direction than Monsters Ball. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, and I think that's really important too, because this is also a white man's story in Monsters Ball. Like, that's also the thing. It's using Halle Berry's character to teach the white man how to be a better person. And that's also inherently just an issue that I have with Monsters Ball. Plus, I just think it's bad, personally.
Yeah, it's one of the few times, I don't often do this, where I'll go down in my Letterboxd score. Most of the time on a rewatch, I'll find myself like pushing it up for finding something in it that I like. I went down on Monsters Ball from whatever I had it scored to a little bit lower. I don't like that movie. All right, let's talk about another Oscar winner on the night in 2001. We'll talk about Denzel, who won for Training Day. What's the butterfly effect if he wins for Malcolm X a few years earlier? Do you think he still wins for Training Day? Maybe it goes to Will Smith that year for Ali and he doesn't win for King Richard. What do you think the butterfly effect is, if at all? Adam?
Okay, so if Denzel wins in 92 and he beats Pacino for Son of a Woman, which means that Pacino does not have his win, I think when you get to like 99, that's the year that Kevin Spacey wins, but maybe there's a push for Pacino for lead instead of Russell Crowe for The Insider. And then maybe Pacino wins, Spacey doesn't. Next year, so then that way, Russell Crowe's win in 2000, still there, still justified. And then in 01, you've got Russell Crowe nominated already and would have won. You've got Denzel, who would have won. And let's say none of the other nominees changed. That leaves Will Smith, our boy Tom Wilkinson, and who was the third, the fifth nominated for Best Actor in 01?
Totally blanking already.
It's Sean Penn.
God, yeah, no wonder we all forgot about that one.
And see, it does feel, and again, like the Academy will nominate a subtle performance, but they usually don't give it the win. And if we want to play the butterfly effect game, I think Smith does get it for Ali, because I don't think Wilkinson does, even though I think, well, I can't include Andrew, but I think Britt and I would have picked Wilkinson over Will Smith for the win. But
Absolutely.
As far as nominees go, playing such a vital person in like American history, yeah, I do.
Britt, what about you?
Yeah, Adam and I worked on that together. So good job, Adam. Yeah, exactly what he said.
You were mapping it out together? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. He just decided to take it all, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll just...
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. No, I have no fucking clue. So I'm just going to agree with Adam.
I don't usually go down this whole like butterfly effect road that often. I'm going to be doing a guest spot for another podcast at some point this year where the whole episode will be all of the various butterfly effects throughout history, and we're going to try to map things out. And so that'll be an exploration I've never really done before.
Throughout history, just all of them.
Wow, all of history.
All of history, yeah.
What if just no
Jesus? Anarchy, pure anarchy.
It's going to be a 10-part series. We'll have a lot of time on our hands. But for the sake of this conversation, I will say that if Denzel wins for Malcolm X, we are still relatively on the heels of Tom Hanks winning back-to-backs for Philadelphia and Forrest Gump. So there is sort of a precedent for somebody winning multiple times and it not being a huge deal. And I do think Denzel probably still wins for Training Day personally, just because, like we talked about on the episode, it was such a stark contrast to everything he had been doing up to that point that I think the voters probably still would have given. But I mean, same goes for Ali and Will Smith, I guess.
Okay, but here's my question then. This is if he won previously, would they have actually given him the supporting actor nom instead? Because there's the whole category fraud thing going on there with the other guy. Forgot his name.
Ethan Hawke.
Whatever.
Ethan Hawke.
That's it. Yeah, that guy in that movie. We know how I feel about that film. Yeah, but would he actually get the supporting actor?
That's a good question, because like to Adam's point on The Insider, where Pacino already had the Oscar, and so he was happy to step aside and let Crowe be kind of front and center for that campaign. I could have seen a world where Denzel steps aside and lets Ethan Hawke be front and center, because Ethan Hawke's, maybe that's the closest he's ever been to an Oscar. Maybe Boyhood, I guess, but
I think the other thing too is, whether it's an Academy thing or a production company thing, the flashier performance will always get the lead. I have not seen this movie, I think since it came out, but Last King of Scotland, James McAvoy is actually in the movie way more than Forrest Whitaker as Idi Amin.
It's
except
his
for,
story.
He's playing Idi Amin, and he's an infamous character. And I think it's that best acting versus most acting, and it's just a huge part to play. So I still think Denzel gets the lead. I don't think there's any like Denzel stepping to the side. Like, I think it's like, look at this real flashy performance. Denzel's the bigger name. Let's just give him the nom.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm going to ask you both a question. This is just top of mind right now, because I'm about to dive into 1991 on an episode, and the obvious conversation around that year is Anthony Hopkins winning lead actor for having the smallest amount of screen time in lead actor history. Is that the most egregious category fraud of all time, or are you okay with him being a lead actor? Because I'm gonna have to wrestle with that, and I'm still sort of conflicted on it right now.
That's a really good question. I personally really love that performance. I think it's great, obviously, and it's iconic. We still talk about it to this day. I think it would have to come down to like defining what is a lead actor, what part they have to play in the story, and how much time you have to be on screen in order to be considered a lead, and whose story you're telling.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Just kind of like if there were to be a rule someday about like screen time, and how that defines it. I personally don't. I'm trying to. I don't really have a great comp for this. So it would be to watch a movie and be like, let's take, because I'm just looking over at the shelf. Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards. It's not his movie, but he is the standout performance. So he wins supporting, but he's in it a ton. So would anybody have been upset if he was to run for best lead actor in Inglourious Bastards over Brad Pitt, who probably is the lead because of his name and his credit? But I don't think so, and so it's one of those like, you can be very literal about it and try to find like you've got to be at a percentage of screen time for it to count, or you can, and throwing this word out, or you can just kind of vibe it out. And like, I don't think, I think to call it egregious is interesting because he really isn't in it all that much, but I also don't think there are too many people who are like upset about it because it is such an iconic performance. So I don't know. I think it's one of those, like, you just got to see, it when you see it, and everybody's going to disagree about it either way. I personally have no problem with it.
I don't either. I think he's great, and long live that character.
the reason why I wrestle with it is I thought about all the different permutations of this show when I was conceptualizing it, and yet somehow I overlooked one of the largest things that has come into play multiple times now, which is a guest on the show will give a revised win for someone in a supporting category when they've already won in lead, or vice versa. And certain actors and actresses have already won dual spots for the same role for support and lead, and it was just I'd never like thought about the idea that could happen, and it is routinely happening. And I feel like if I were to put Anthony Hopkins in a supporting category, he's going to have a strong chance to win because that performance is very powerful. Is he deserving of winning lead and support if he gets put up there? So it's a predicament I'm in.
He's allowed to win every single award. Let's be real.
Except for the father.
Best director, Anthony Hopkins is Hannibal Lecter.
I'm still mad about him winning for the father.
Anthony Hopkins.
I can't. That win bothers me. All right, let's talk about another actor who was in contention this year. Ian McKellen, who was up for Lord of the Rings for playing Gandalf. Was he closer to winning in 2001, or was he closer to winning in 1998? For another film he was nominated called Gods and Monsters, which I covered last year on the show as well. I'll jump in and I'll answer this first, since I am probably the only one of the three of us who's like got 98 pretty still close to the forefront of my mind. I think 98 he was more likely to win because the other nominees that year were Nick Nolte for Affliction, Edward Norton for American History X, Tom Hanks for Saving Private Ryan, and then the winner in 1998 for lead actor was Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful. I think aside from Benigni, I could probably make a strong case for McKellen winning that year. I don't think Ed Norton was going to win based on the Academy and what they probably thought about that movie. I don't think Hanks would have won for Saving Private Ryan. It's too much of an ensemble piece. And I don't think Nick Nolte was going to win for Affliction. So I'll say 98, just because I also don't think Gandalf's as prominent a part of this movie as he is in the successive Lord of the Rings films. Maybe.
No, I agree with you. I think the Oscars love a biopic. They love it when people play people that are dead, so that used to be living. So I think that they were probably more likely to give it to him then. And they also are very, very unwilling to give too many Oscars for genre movies. So he was playing a wizard. Come on, they're not gonna be like, he had magic. That's weird. Let's give it to him for the other one. So I think that's probably why. With my uneducated opinion. I'm
leaning towards agreeing with you, except for the fact, and it's hard to not look at this through contemporary eyes, but I just think the supporting actor lineup in 2001 is really weak. I just think it's overall it's not very strong, and I think the performances in lead actor in 98, your Nick Nolte aside, was pretty like. If for some reason, like, Ian McKellen's name popped up, or Tom Hanks, or Edward Norton, I would have been like, cool. I mean, I think those are all good, unique performances. I don't know. I mean, just Jim Broadbent winning and Jon Voight being nominated is just like, I find that strange enough for those performances. And so it's that I'm leaning with you, but I also just think it's hard for me to not just see a very weak category in 2001.
I think Jim Broadbent won for one single scene, and that's when he's yelling at his wife in bed, because that's the only part of that movie where I went, holy shit, they're acting. And then the rest of Iris, nobody's acting. They're just being a caricature of someone. So I think that's why he won, because he had one good scene. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And he wasn't playing a wizard. So they were a little more willing to give it to him.
I'm going to have to dig through like all Academy history and see if any wizards have ever won.
I doubt it. Too. Well, depends. Maybe, but I really doubt it. They're weird about fantasy and magic.
It's true. I'm also really glad that you nominated Broadbent for the correct role that he should have been nominated in that year.
He's good, and he's so good in Moulin Rouge. I don't care. Everybody can hate it. That's fine. But it's a fucking fun flick, okay? And he's really good in it. And when he has to be camp and over the top, he does it. And then he has an incredible scene with Satine where he tells her that she's dying. And it's spoilers for Moulin Rouge. If you didn't know, she dies at the end. And you can cut that. I know some people get really upset about spoilers. But he has some incredible moments in that. And I wish he would have won for Moulin Rouge.
I don't like Moulin
Not
Rouge,
Iris.
but I do like him more in that versus Iris.
That's fair. You know what, Andrew?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight with you today. I don't have it in me. It's Monday, and I got 5 hours of sleep, so I'll just let it slide. I'm going to come for you later, like tomorrow, when I actually have 10 and a half hours of sleep.
Oh my God.
I don't have kids. I can sleep as long as I want.
I don't remember the last time I had 10 and a half hours. Whew. Okay, let's go over to everyone's favorite category, best song now.
Oh,
and
out.
Maybe one of the great best song lineups in history in 2001, said totally facetiously, where did Diane Warren finish in best song, in your opinion, this particular year?
You got to feed us.
Okay.
I'm looking it up right now.
The winner that year was Monsters, Inc. and Randy Newman's classic, If I Didn't Have You, which I couldn't hum or think of if I tried. Warren was nominated for There You'll Be from Pearl Harbor. And the other nominees were May It Be from The Lord of the Rings. Have no idea what that is.
May it be. Da, 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 da. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's a beautiful song. It's by Enya. What are you talking about? Why do you hate beautiful things, Andrew?
You also have Sting, who performed a song from Kate and Leopold. And then the one that surprised me the most, because I don't remember this song, Paul McCartney got nominated for the titular song of Vanilla Sky.
They play it over the closing credits.
Okay.
That's
okay. So I mean, that's a pretty shit field of best song.
May It Be is amazing, and that's what should have won. Okay, just gonna go out on a limb there. I'm gonna put her at 3 because why not? Middle of the pack.
I mean, Faith Hill sings it, and I remember that song even being on the radio, and I missed the days where songs that were like linked to films actually tracked and charted. Like I miss it. I genuinely miss those days. So fuck it. Just give her 1. Diane Warren, just a queen of a good film.
Is she ever going to actually win?
How many times has she been nominated?
42.
Is that a real number, or did you just pull that out of your ass?
I just made that up.
It sounds pretty close.
No idea.
Do you think she'll ever actually win? Because I'm going to say no. Like, it just feels like it's never going to happen.
At this point, it's going to be one of those things where she's going to get nominated 3 times in 1 year and still not win. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
She'll get an honorary Oscar, just like that.
I'm sure that'll be it. But like, it'll also be like the fakest of fake. Like, be like, good for you. What'd you win for? For just doing it for a long time. That's it. That's gonna be the whole thing.
They'll do a tribute, and they'll have like the Pearl Harbor song is like the big one, right?
Mannequin.
What's your favorite Diane Warren nominated song?
Isn't she? Doesn't she have a credit for the Aerosmith song for "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing"?
That was the first one that popped up. That's a banger.
That's
done. That's mine.
That's
only 16 nominations for the woman. She's still got a lot of time left.
42 seems a lot more accurate. I don't know where you're getting these numbers from, Andrew. Adam was obviously right.
I forgot she got nominated for the Flaming Hot song a couple of years ago, which she's just trying. God love her. She's going for it. Got to get a win. All right, let's move over to a question from Kristen Battistella, the world's foremost Guy Pearce lover on earth, who's undoubtedly going to be really happy at Adam for his nomination of Guy Pearce. Her question is, why was there no acclaim for Guy Pearce in Memento? I'm still waiting. Well, we have acclaimed her. He has been acclaimed. So talk about Guy Pearce for a minute. Why do you love him?
Well, first off, I just want to say that I think that the Academy are cowards. Memento's phenomenal. It was a phenomenal role. I'm not sure who else could have played it as well as he did. So get it right, people. Come on.
Is this just one of those classic times where like it gets nominated for screenplay, and it feels like there's a lot of movies, and this is probably why Adam loves this original screenplay category so much, is this feels like in hindsight, often you look back and you go, oh, those are the best movies that year. Those are the movies that actually like pushed the medium forward. And it just feels like the Academy wasn't ready yet for true Memento love, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's genuinely how I feel. And there are plenty of actors who are really good, but personally, there are only a handful when I hear that they're in a movie and then they show up. Like, I get genuinely excited, right? And Guy Pearce is one of them. And I love kind of finding a movie from like the late 2000s or early 2010s and not knowing that he's in it, and then all of a sudden he's in it, and I'm like, fucking hey, Guy Pearce, that's fantastic. Or forgetting that he's in something, right? I totally forget that he's in The King's Speech and he's the shit brother who doesn't want to take the throne. He always knows his role, and I don't mean that like he knows his role, but he knows his job. Whether he's a lead or he's supporting or he's in it for one scene, he comes in and he kills it. That's just full dedication. I don't know. I'm always in. I'm always in on Guy Pearce.
And I also think he's very good at not taking the scene away from other actors when he's like with them. One of the things that I get really frustrated in movies and watching theater is when a character who is supporting another person through a scene is pulling focus because they want to be the center of attention. I'm like, no, you're not participating in the scene with someone now. You're just trying to be the most important person on the screen or on stage. And I think he is really good at working with other people. He's not pulling focus. He's actually telling a story. And that's very hard to do. And actors are super, super conceited. I'm an actor. I understand I'm super conceited. And we want to be the center of attention. And he knows when to be the center of attention and when not to be. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's a great point. I just did an interview a couple of days ago with an independent film actor, stage actor, and he primarily does supporting roles, yet occasionally he'll do lead roles. And I told him I think it's a real art to be a supporting actor and not let your ego get in the way of somebody else having their moment to shine. And that's a great comparison with Guy Pearce there, because I just recently watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert for the first time. It had been on my watch list forever.
It's so fun.
It was a blast. He's great. He really does have this chameleon quality about him. As recently as The Brutalist last year, which I thought he was incredible in. And I also just love the fact that in a world of, it feels like all of my acting heroes are all kind of shitbags in real life, and they're all pieces of shit. Like, he's very upfront with what he believes in. He'll wear a pro-Palestine flag at the Oscars. He's not afraid to like stand by his conviction. I feel a strong sense of character in him, and so I love seeing Guy Pearce get rewarded. And if he wins this revised Best Actor, awesome for him.
I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take us out with one final question. This one comes from Screen Nerds Podcast, really cool podcast out there. And they have done a ton of different episodes, and they've covered a bunch of movies from 2001. And so they asked us to rank the movies that they've specifically covered on their show from the year 2001. So I'm going to give you 7 movies, and you're going to rank them 1 to 7. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to write these down.
No, you have to do it from your noggin. You got to just remember.
First and foremost is going to be Fellowship of the Ring. After that's going to be Monsters, Inc. Then we've got Spirited Away. We've also got Ocean's 11. We've got Ali. We've got A Beautiful Mind. And we've got The Fast and the Furious. So it's an eclectic group. All right, Britt, take a stab at it.
Absolutely. Well, I got this beforehand, so I was able to make a list. So I have it. Number 7, The Fast and the Furious. It's fun, but like I'm never going to watch it again. At number 6, Ali. Listen to our Michael Mann ranking, and you'll know exactly how I feel about that film. Number 5, A Beautiful Mind. It's fine. At number 4, Monsters, Inc. Again, I think just the animation is what holds me back on this one because it doesn't look as good as it could. And hey, maybe we'll get a new version at some point. Number 3, Ocean's 11. Fucking fun flick. It was never going to come up on the episode for me, but damn, do I enjoy that. Number 2, I have Lord of the Rings, A Fellowship of the Ring. Perfect film. And number 1, I've got Spirited Away. Perfect film. Like, it was between those two, who knew, but I figured I would be the only one with Spirited Away at number 1, so I had to do it. But it also just means a lot to me.
So you're not a...
It's hard being a girl.
You're not a Fast and Furious
somehow,
fan?
No. No, I don't like cars.
All right.
You know what I am a fan of though? Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. That movie is amazing, but it's the only one I will rewatch.
I do kind of like that they've gotten so absurd that they're like flying cars through buildings and crazy shit like that. Like,
see, I don't enjoy
Okay.
that. That's why I don't like it. It's too far for me. Go back to Tokyo Drift where it's just dumb.
I don't enjoy any of them for the record, but if they're on, I will suffer through them.
Give Tokyo Drift another watch. I bet you'll enjoy it.
All right, Adam, you look like you're ready to rank.
Yeah, so I think my first two are in line with Britt. I have Fast and Furious at 7. I will rewatch those movies, but I also know that this is clearly not this is the 7 of the bunch. I also have Ali at 6. Go listen to our Michael Mann ranking. Again, to know that. Here's where I got Lord of the Rings at 5. It's not going to surprise anybody, I don't think. Number 4, I have Monsters Inc. Really enjoy it. Number 3, I have Spirited Away. Because I think the more that I watch the Ghibli films with my kids, the more that they grow on me personally, which is great. I think we evolve. We can change and grow over time. Number 2, A Beautiful Mind. I am high on that movie. I talked about it on the episode. And number 1, because Ocean's 11. It's well made. It's well acted. It's got a lot of style. And of this bunch, I think it's just as well made as anything else, and it's the one that I would like without even having to think about it. It's the one I would put on first. So that's what I'm going with.
Is it your favorite Soderbergh?
Probably not. I love Traffic. I don't know if that movie is contentious or like people don't care or if it's dated or whatever. I was always high on it. I think the style of the execution, the ensemble. It's clearly not as slicker or like as high budgeted as Ocean's 11, but I really, really dig Traffic.
He'd be an interesting director to do a rankings on. Probably has too many films for you to really bunch into
Holy
one.
shit. He's got like
almost
40 films.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'd have to come up with some way to track that. Like, I don't know, from a decade or something, you know.
I dare you to do it just for the prep side of it.
No.
My ranking is in the order I listed them off: Fellowship, Monsters, Spirited Away, Oceans, Ali, Beautiful Mind, and then Fast and the Furious.
Hey, at least we all can agree that movie should be number 7.
It's definitely number 7. Okay. That was fun. Thanks to everybody that submitted those questions. They just keep getting more and more bountiful every month, which I do appreciate. Why don't you guys plug all the stuff you got going on? Go for it, Britt. What's on the way for 1001?
Got a lot of stuff on the way. Right now we're counting down our top 20, like a collaborative list of the top 25 films of the last 25 years. It's been really fun. That's our like off week episode coming out. Coming up, we have episodes on The Wrestler. That's probably out by this time. Wuthering Heights, Another Round, all that jazz. We've got our definitive draft episode coming up, which is like everybody's favorite. It's our favorite. We've got some new fun things going on there. We're doing The Exorcist and The Devils and The Witch. Those are the ones that I could think of off the top. Oh, and Slacker as well.
Yeah.
That's the one I always forget about. Sorry, Joey. Forgetting about you again.
So you're doing the 25 countdown every other for a while?
Yes, that's what we are sliding in instead of 1001 by 1 by 3, which we've done for like a year at this point. It's been fun. It's been great. So we're just trying to freshen it up and do a couple different things. I think one of these times we should invite Mike on to a 1001 by 1 by 3 just so he can air his grievances out against us and the things we have to say about his favorite movies.
That would be amazing. Now, I'll completely cut this out if you need me to, but Britt, have you announced to the world like what's going on, or is that?
Yes, I'm still working on it. I have asked Andrew to come on for one of the seasons along with our friend Clarissa. Not sure what we're doing yet, just because I got to get through basically the end of July, and then we're gonna start figuring out when when to start recording that and doing it. Yeah, so it'll be a podcast about movie tropes and movie horror tropes and horror subgenres. I think I'm sticking with the name that I said previously, but I'll leave that off right now in case I change it. So yeah, look for that. Probably coming in end of the year, I would say.
And this will be under the eventually
1000
bannered Trinity.
Yes, the Trinity Movies Podcasting Network, I think is what it is. But Adam can correct me.
Yeah,
something like that.
I sure could. Yeah,
we're still working it out. But yeah, so I'll be launching that. It'll be a monthly podcast, and I'll have a revolving door of co-hosts.
Cool stuff. Can't wait to. I have no idea what subgenre you're going to give me. I hope you don't tell me too soon in advance. I want to be surprised.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to give you guys a couple of options, and I also want you to send me movies that you would like to watch, and I'll figure it out. So anyways, but that'll come out later, so we can cut that.
You also made a really strange choice with me and Clarissa together, because one of us, like you, is really deep into the horror world, and then Clarissa, we're going to torture her. So that's
why I did it, because she's asked me for many horror recommendations. So I was like, let's throw you in the deep end, friend. Let's do it.
All right, Adam. Below Freezing, the return of Rewind 2552. What's all the good stuff on the way?
So I'll just kind of dispense with Rewind, just because that's not going to be starting up until 2026. I have been recording them just to get ahead of the game, but for Rewind, the first bunch of films, because we just go in order of how they were released when they came out. So the first episode is Castaway. The second episode will be Save the Last Dance. The third episode will be The Pledge, and the fourth will be The Wedding Planner. So those are just 4 wildly different films. But as far, yes.
I'm sorry. Is Melissa on Save the Last Dance?
She sure is.
Thank God.
She
okay.
Sure
I was like, I need to know what her opinions are of that terrible dance for Juilliard. Oh my God. Save the Last Dance. I cannot wait.
Trust me, the phrase "a bit too long" came up quite a bit for that dance.
In your dreams.
And then for Below Freezing, I'm trying to remember if Sidekicks has come out yet or not. I think it has. So the next 3 that are coming out. So we have The Bonfire of the Vanities, which we had a ton to say on. Virtuosity, which is a Russell Crowe Denzel film. And we just recorded, I really don't know why, there was a sequel to Hollow Man called Hollow Man 2, and we covered that one.
Who stars instead of Bacon? Or is Bacon back?
So no, Bacon's not back. So the invisible person in it is Christian Slater, but he's not in it as much as you would want. But it's Peter Fasinelli is the lead of it. So if you know Twilight or Can't Hardly Wait, or apparently he was on Nurse Jackie, which is a show I didn't watch, but he's on that too. That's the lead of the movie.
Awesome.
It's not great.
Oh yeah, he was the dad. I was like, who was he in Twilight? He was Dr. Dad.
And
Daddy Vampire.
And I'll tiptoe around the fact that hopefully I'll have returned to Below Freezing at some point with maybe some others as well. That'll be a fun one. And I'll leave it at that. All right. Well, that was the questions. Thanks all for being here. Always good talking to Adam and Britt. And
thanks for having us. Yeah. We were a lot nicer this time, I think.
You were kind to me.
I agree. Yes.
Early in the day. Not so many drinks behind you, hopefully.
Yeah. I had no drinks behind me for that episode. What are you talking about?
This is what happens when Sober Andrew comes out, all right? All right. Good stuff.